Alright, so now let's go ahead and create our swipe component. But in here we can type PHP artisan make Livewire. We can say swiper dot swiper. Alright, now let's go to our home and actually put this swiper in our home. So let's open our home. In here, let's remove this. In here, let's do H. Let's add some class. Here, let's do height screen, item center, and grid. Alright, now in the home we can simply get this new swiper component we just created. So here you can type livewire swiper dot swiper. Right, at the / there. This is gonna bring the swiper in this home like that. So now it's there. Now let's go ahead and actually start designing our swiper. So if you go to our swiper component, in here we're going to create the first class. Here we can say margin auto. We can say medium P10 with the width full, height full. Want it to be relative. Be like water. Yes, Bruce Lee. Here down here we can say div dot relative and height full. The medium height. Here before we create this, let's just create the class because it might not work with Emmet. Here let's say medium, want the height to become 600 pixels, the height of the swiper. Want it full width and height on the small screens. On the bigger screens, want to control the height like that. Here width full. The medium, want the width to be 96, which amounts to about 384 pixels. Also make this one margin auto. Alright. Inside here, I'm going to create a div. Now, this div, let's create some classes. Absolute. Right. Insert 0 margin auto. Right. Transform. So an is in out. Duration because we want to make it smooth in terms of changes. Say 300. Rounded XL. There. Background gray 500. And then cursor pointer. Since this is absolute, here let's give a Z index of 50. Right. Inside this div, we're going to have another element. This one's on height full, but width full. Right. Now if we go, we might not really see anything. Okay, we have this thing, so it's getting good. But yeah, so we have this thing such that when you go on small screens, it's going to become big. On bigger screens, it's going to become with this height. So it's going good. Alright, and by the way, you can just download the code of this content if you don't want to type through all this. But alright, inside there, we're going to have another div element. Now with this, we're going to have a class. We can say this one relative, since we want it to be actually a new one for elements inside here. Relative, the overflow hidden, width full, height full, rounded XL, background, cover. Now this background, we're adding this because we're going to have a style here. We're going to have a background image. A background image. When I use pure CSS, a URL. This one we're going to use some of the, like, let's just call one image for now. Let's do https / source.unsplash.com / here we can say 500x500 question mark face. Now if we go back, awesome. Now you see if we refresh, now it's giving us some pictures that we can refresh to give us a new image every time. This is good. Now it's not really scroll, it's not really draggable. Yeah, we'll get to that later. Now let's go ahead and add some indicators here which show nope or yes. So let's go back. In here, inside this element, Inside this element, let's actually make this like that, and this like that, this like that. So inside here, where there's background image, let's add a comment saying swipe indicators. Now in here, we're going to say div. Okay, for this one, we're going to create pointer events to none, right? Because we don't want these ones to disturb the drag when you create a drag for this main element here. We don't want it to disturb. So whichever one is elements inside here, gonna give them pointer events to none, unless you want them to be clickable. For now, let's just create a span element in a class. So it's going to be border. So border 2. Wanna create a like indicator, rounded, medium, padding 1, px to be bigger than padding. Say 2. Here border green 500. The text also green 500. Let's get a big text of 4XL. Let's capitalize this. Let's make the font bold, or rather extra bold. Okay, let's continue. This one make top, it's going to be absolute. So here let's say top, let's say 10 or 12, 10. Left 5, then absolute, since we're giving top and left, and then Z index of 5. Here let's say like. Now if we go, also now you see it's looking something like that, a like, but let's actually make it look more like Tinder. So let's give a little bit of rotation there. So now if you go to this like, here after the left, let's just give negative rotate 12. Awesome, that's looking good like that. So now we can go do this quite a number of times, copy this twice. So 1, 2, let's change the second one to nope in capital letters, and let's change this to red 500, red 500, and then here instead of left it's going to be right, and then the rotate is also going to be positive since it's the opposite of the other one. Now if we go, we're going to have this one, yeah. So if we swipe left, it's going to show nope. If we swipe right, it's going to show like. Now there's one more feature which is super like. So let's go, and this one, let's add super in capital letters, super like. Now for this one, it's going to be a little bit different. So in here, in these positions, here where it says top, let's remove the top, and also let's remove the left. In here, let's add bottom 48, max width fit, also insert x 0. Okay, now if we go back, okay, it's looking like that, but want to center it. So after adding insert x, now let's add mx also too, and that's going to center it also. So now we're going to do like, nope, and super like. Now these are not going to be shown at the same time, of course. They're only going to be shown when we drag this thing. Right now it's not really draggable, but we'll work on that later. Alright, so now let me not make this video long. For now, let's just go back. Let's just add some Alpine, because here in this element, alright, here where there's absolute, this element here, just after the one where there's medium, so we hide 600. This is going to be our main element, this one. So in here, let's add a few Alpine classes. It's going to be X data. All right, in here, I'm going to have is swiping force. Let's copy that a couple of times. You can say swiping left, swiping right. Also here, swiping up for super like. They're all going to be false. So now, and here the class, well, let's just add same full colon class. I'm going to change the class depending on the swiping condition. After adding that, you add this curly brackets. Here, let's add this class transform none, the cursor grab. When is swiping, this one, when is swiping is true. And I'm going to add this class to this element. Right, now for this, let's just hide these for now because we don't want to show them. before we do anything. So since we've already seen how they look like, now let's add X clock on all of them. Cloak, and down, add the full colon class. Let's also manipulate the class based on the condition of, I'm gonna make this one invisible if swiping right, this one, swiping right is false. It's gonna be invisible, otherwise visible. So let's just copy this class. Let's just copy these two attributes. It's clock, X clock, and class. There on the node, let's paste it. Let's change swiping left. Here too, paste that. Here swiping up. Alright, now if you go, all of this should disappear because the condition of swiping, or is swiping up, left, and right, are not yet true. So this should go. If you refresh the page, it's not going to show any swiping indicators. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Let's now go ahead and start working on the name of this user we are viewing here, the name, other necessary information. So I'll see you in the next video.